Hello, I'm Joel Kramer, and I'm an archaeology student here in Israel.
How are you so crazy about me? You gave your life to set me free. By your grace that I had never known, I am saved, my life is yours alone. La da 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 da. 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 I was just thinking to myself, am I saved? Where would I go if I were to die today? Could you help me know the truth?
This is the Elah Valley that's winding around, and then it comes around the backside of the tell here, and then it goes out to Gath, which we were looking at to the south as we were coming up here. Okay? So it's just kind of snaking around as it works its way up to the mountain ridge. You can see the mountain ridge up there. There was a route that came down from Bethlehem into the Elah Valley and through the Elah Valley. This is the route that David took when he was sent by his son, by his father, Jesse, to deliver food to his brothers who were at war with the Philistines. Okay, now, a very important site for the context of what we're going to be reading is, of course, the site that we're standing on, Azekah, which first was excavated by McAllister, the same guy who excavated at Gezer where we just were. It's being excavated by the University of Tel Aviv right now. They're finding some incredible stuff, which they got uncovered over on the other side. I don't think we have time to go snooping around through that stuff, but anyways, it's over there.
Which way is north?
North is this way. So the other site that's really important is you can see this ridge line that's down below us right here with the bushes and trees on it. You see it? Okay, right in front of it is a stream, a creek. And that stream is running, and they see that bus down there is crossing it right now. It comes right across the road. You see where I'm talking about? And it comes out on the other side and comes through there. So there's a stream that runs right on the face of that hill that's right straight down below us. Across the Elah Valley, you see the road going up through the Elah Valley. You see what I'm talking about? And then you see a ridge line on the other side. Everyone see what I'm talking about? So you have that ridge line that goes all the way down, and then it kind of ends, but just beyond it is kind of a bald-looking hill over there. Do you see what I'm talking about?
It's right where yellow green?
Yes, it's like a yellowish green, and it doesn't have the thick trees on it like the other two ridges have. Does everybody see that? Because that's really important. So that is called Zoko. Tel Zoko. Now, Tel Zoko, we know for sure is Tel Zoko because an inscription that says Zoko was found there. And recently it has been excavated for a little bit. And so this is, at the time of the story that I'm about to read, this is what was here. Azekah, Judean city, fortified city. Zoko, Judean city. And then how many ridge lines are between Azekah and Zoko? Two. This one that's closest to us and the one that's over the farthest. Now, I'm going to read the story and you're going to get it, but just to make sure that you get it, the Israelites are on this closest ridge line. They're encamped on this closest ridge line. Across the Elah Valley, that ridge line that you see over there is where the Philistines are encamped. They're at Zoko, meaning they're on the ridge line associated with Zoko. They're not in the fortified Judean city. Okay? And then keep in mind that there's this stream that comes through here because that comes into play as well. Okay, here I go. Chapter 17 of 1 Samuel. Now the Philistines gathered their forces for war and assembled at Zoko in Judah. They pitched camp at Ephes Damim between Zoko and Azekah. You see it? Saul and the Israelites assembled and camped in the valley of Elah and drew up their battle line to meet the Philistines. The Philistines occupied one hill, and the Israelites another, with the valley between them. Do you see where they are? A champion named Goliath, who was from Gath, came out to the Philistine camp. Okay, and then I'll skip over to later in the story. David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword." Oh, and he, of course, crosses that stream and picks up his 5 smooth stones. And then he goes out into the Elah Valley between those 2 ridge lines somewhere in there to face Goliath. David said to the Philistines, "You come against me with a sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will hand you over to me, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head. Today I will give the carcasses of the Philistine army to the birds of the air and the beasts of the earth, and the whole world will know that there is God in Israel. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into your hands." As the Philistine moved closer to attack him, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. Reaching into his bag and taking out a stone, he slung it and struck the Philistine on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead, and he fell face down on the ground. So David triumphed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone. Without a sword in his hand, he struck down the Philistine and killed him. Okay, so we can look at the geography of the land, we can read the story, and we can see that they're a match, just like you can do with archaeology. Any questions?
You said the stream is in between.
See that truck down there?
Yes, I do.
It's going to go over it right. It's going to go over the bridge for the stream right now.
Okay, so David had to cross the stream no matter what to get to that.
That's correct. That's what made the whole valley was made by that stream.
Gotcha.
Yep. And you can see, just from this standpoint too, that the ridge line, remember our biblical cities are up on that ridge line, many of them, and these cities down here are guarding them. You can see after having been over on the east side in the Jordan Valley, and now being on the west side, you can see that Jerusalem and that ridge line is far more vulnerable on the west side than the east side, especially taking into consideration that the main travel route runs along the way of the sea here, and you have these valleys that have travel routes that go up to the ridge line, and you have armies that come in when they attack Jerusalem and Judah. They got to take these cities in these different valleys out. They got to take Gezer, they got to take Bet Shemesh, they got to take Azekah, they got to take Lachish, where we'll go to next, in order to take out that western flank and then penetrate in and attack Jerusalem and the ridge line.